failed Republican gubernatorial candidate for Arizona, Kari Lake, along with another failed Republican candidate from Arizona who is also currently seeking a new seat in the state, Mark Finchem, both got slapped down by the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit about 4 or 5 days ago, when that appeals court refused to take up their latest lawsuit because the court says, we already did this and we're not doing it again. In fact, that appeals court for the Ninth Circuit demolished their entire lawsuit with just a 2-sentence ruling. They did not go into detail, other than, of course, saying, we've already done it and we're not going to do it again. End of story, case closed. For the love of God, Kari Lake, quit suing people because we're getting tired of seeing your face. Now, of course, they didn't add that last part, but I imagine they're all feeling that, right? I mean, Kari Lake has been in and out of court for 2 years now, even before her election where she lost. And that's actually where this particular lawsuit comes from, because this was not about the election results. This one is a lawsuit that she had originally filed before the voting even began in Arizona, already trying to say that this whole thing is rigged because, according to this original lawsuit from Lake and Finchem, the tabulators in Maricopa and Pima counties, well, they're easily hackable, and somebody could hack them, and therefore we can't have them and you can't use them, even though, of course, they are mandated under Arizona state law. So, this lawsuit, even before it got struck down for a second time by the Ninth Circuit, has a pretty hilarious history of getting shot down by the courts. Let me read you this. In August of 2022, 3 months before the actual election took place, U.S. District Judge John Tucci threw out the case and issued a scathing ruling. Later, he ordered the attorneys representing Lake and Finchem to pay $122,000 in sanctions because their claims amounted to mere, quote, conjectural allegations of potential injuries. Tucci also accused the attorneys of making false claims about Arizona elections, and the judge put a particular focus on their claims that Arizonans use electronic devices to vote, when in fact more than 99% of voters in Arizona mark paper ballots, which are then counted by electronic tabulating machines. So that was the first strikeout. Then in October of 2023, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals concurred with Tucci's decision to throw out the case, agreeing that it was, quote, frivolous. And at that time, the Ninth Circuit wrote a little more than 2 sentences saying, none of plaintiffs' allegations supported a plausible inference that their individual votes in future elections will be adversely affected by the use of electronic tabulation, particularly given the robust safeguards in Arizona law, the use of paper ballots, and the post-tabulation retention of those ballots. So they got struck down in August of 2022, got struck down in October of 2023, and then March of this year, they said, you know what, screw this. We're going to the U.S. Supreme Court. They filed the case with the Supreme Court. Supreme Court came back and said, we're not going to touch this. Go away. Back down to the lower courts. Well, the lower courts already told you no, so they refile the lawsuit, and this time, in rewriting the lawsuit, those original lawyers for Kari Lake, the ones who got sanctioned and are currently awaiting disciplinary hearings with the state Supreme Court, they tried to argue that the state lawyers lied to the courts. So the guys who had been busted, told by a judge, you're lying to the court, are now saying, no, these people totally lied to the court. Even though, we can't prove it. You already told us we can't prove it, and we still can't prove it, but we really think these guys are lying to the court. And that, of course, is why the Ninth Circuit was like, yeah, we're not going to do this anymore. We're done. Kari Lake, you're done. Oh, and for the record, I think it's also worth mentioning here that currently in the polling for the Arizona Senate race where Kari Lake is running right now, she continues to underperform and is currently getting clobbered by her Democratic opponent, Ruben Gallego. So everything right now is going badly for Kari Lake. So in my book, that's always a win. Hey everybody, I don't know if you've noticed this, but we are closing in on a pretty major milestone here at Fair and Balanced as we approach 500,000 subscribers. But we're not there yet, and we definitely need your support. So if you're not already, please do subscribe to the channel, and don't forget, like and comment on the videos and share them as widely as possible.